In this video, I'm using drop-down lists in a cell that will restrict what can go in those cells. Only these 5 employees can be entered in this column. We're going to see how that can go wrong sometimes and you're able to enter items that aren't in a drop-down list. Now in this one, we've got names A, B, C, D, and E. But if I try and type Fred here, when I press enter, I should get an error message. So I'm not allowed to put that in the cell. I'll just cancel that. I want to do the same thing in this column. I've got a different list of names that I'm going to use. So I selected all the cells, and on the Data tab of the ribbon, I'll click Data Validation. I want to allow a list, and the source is a list called MGR for Manager, MGR List. I could type that or press the F3 key. That shows the names that I can use. I'll double click on MGR List and it puts an equal sign before it. There's the list name and click OK. So now I can see I've got 5 manager names, so I'll put Nan here. And the next one I'll select Mike. So those names start with M and go through to Q. So if I try and type Ann here, I should get an error message. When I press enter, nothing happens. I'm allowed to put invalid items in this column. The reason for that, if we look at the list this is based on, here are the manager names, and there's a blank cell in this list. It's a named list, MGR list, and if you have a blank cell in a named list, that will allow you to type anything at all you want if you use that as a source for data validation. There is a fix for it though. If I go back to my list and select all those cells for the manager list, on the Data tab, go back to Data Validation, and here on the Settings tab, there's a check mark for Ignore Blank. Well, in this case, we don't want it to ignore the blank, so I'll remove this check mark, click OK, and now if I try and type Ann again, when I press enter, I should get an error. So now we can only select items from the list or type items. If I type Mike, that's accepted as well. So if you do have a blank in the source data, either remove the blank cell if you don't need it, or turn off that item that ignores blank in data validation. For more Excel tips and tutorials, and to download the sample file for this video, please visit my Contextures website at www.contextures.com.